Okay guys, I just woke up and today we are going to film, got a little doggy here that I'm hanging out with today. Oh, hello. I'm having a psychologist come over and we're going to film my brainwaves while painting. So I have to go get ready, and then I'm gonna go to the art store and pick out colors and canvas, and yeah, we'll see what comes throughout this session. We're gonna record it, so come along. And the theme that we are going to record, I'm gonna paint on the socio-political climate in the world, and see what comes through on that, and the transformational process that we're going through on Earth right now in the socio-political landscape. So I'm excited, and come along. Okay, so we are just waiting for Stephanie to arrive, the psychologist, and we'll get started soon. Here we go.
So today we're going to be looking at your brain waves in the moment.
Cool. Cool.
As you go through this, well, why don't you describe what you're going to be doing?
Yeah, so I'm going to be dropping into a particular channeling energy and bringing through a painting, maybe bringing through some light language, which is a series of sounds, and gonna paint something that the feeling of what is gonna come through in the painting will be a response to the prompt of the healing / transformation of our socio-political landscape and where we are now and what we're evolving through. Yeah, does that sound like a good prompt?
It reminds me of something I read about you when you invited me to.
Yeah.
And you said, my mission in life is to live deeply or
Oh yes, present. Two butterflies. Yes, to be deeply present in all that I do. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting to see what your brain waves are doing while
Yeah.
you're doing this.
Yeah.
And what being deeply present looks like, objectively,
Yeah.
which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
So thanks again for volunteering.
Yeah.
So straight at the beginning here, this sensor is called GSR for short.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to get your sweat gland activity on your hand.
Cool.
Are you righty or lefty?
Ready.
Okay, cool. Sometimes striving is associated with the dominant hand. We might check it out to see if there are differences. Okay. It's
Okay.
just alcohol. I'm going to use that again. So these are sensors, and I'm going to apply it to these two adjacent fingers.
Okay.
And it's going to pick up the sweat gland activity. These are sensor holders.
Cool.
So the sensor is there. And these are applied like that. So while you have the sensors on, if you can just be relaxed,
Yeah.
of course, yeah. But if you turn it over and it's on your thigh,
Okay.
like that,
Yeah.
then we're getting thigh
Oh, okay.
and sweat gland activity.
Cool.
So just while you have the sensors on, yeah, just like
Perfect.
that. Yeah, okay, cool. And what's happening is we're getting a charge. It's going to
Yeah.
be imperceptible from this electrode to the other.
Okay.
And when you are aroused or excited or embarrassed or ashamed,
Yeah.
when you have an emotion, often it's associated with sweat gland activity.
Oh, cool.
And so that charge
Yeah.
is going to be transmitted differently in terms of speed
Cool.
by the moisture or the volume of moisture.
Cool.
So it's going to, you're going to be more excited, then you're going to have more speed in the transmission of that imperceptible charge, right? And we're going to be able to record that.
Cool.
So some people have a lot of variability and some people don't have very much at all.
Cool.
So what we're getting at by recording it are the patterns,
Okay.
right? Okay, so that's what we call sweat gland activity. This is called blood volume pulse,
Okay.
and this particular sensor is picking up your pulse.
Cool.
And from your pulse, we're getting the heart rhythm.
Okay.
And the heart rhythm that of interest is not only your heartbeat or your pulse, but
Yeah.
we're looking at the what's called heart rate variability.
Okay.
And it's a really important topic
Yeah.
in psychology over the last 25 years. And it's a metric that we can get very easily with a sensor like this.
Cool.
The sensor's right in there,
Okay.
okay? And basically it attaches to your ear like an earring,
Cool.
and it's looking at the blood and the volume of the oxygen of the blood as the blood comes by.
Okay.
And it's as simple as that. It's called a DSU, or a mini processor. So it takes the data from your body and makes sense of it.
Cool.
And then you see it's plugged into the USB drive,
Mhm.
and then that information drives the software, and you're going to see the software here on the screen.
Okay.
Okay, so back to the second sensor. This is the electroencephalogram. And we're looking at the electrical activity in your brain,
Cool.
at the areas where we place these electrodes. And of interest, during this recording, we'll be looking at the occipital lobe and the temporal lobe.
Cool.
So we'll be looking here and here, right?
Mhm.
And so I need to get to your hair,
Okay.
okay?
Cool.
And then I need to get to your scalp.
Okay.
So I'm going to take this pony down just
Yeah,
first.
that's
Wait a minute,
fine.
hold on, let me just see. Oh, okay. I can get to your scalp with the pony just like that in
Okay.
these places. So these are called so-called long hair electrodes.
Okay,
right?
cool. Yeah,
And so those spikes are going to be touching your scalp
got it.
at key locations. So for the EEG, for short,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to attach it to your lapel here. This is the sensor, the EEG sensor,
Cool.
and we call this the GSR sensor. That's looking at your sweat gland activity,
Cool.
and this is a BVP, blood volume pulse.
Uh-huh.
And that's looking at your pulse or your heart rate variability. I was telling you about that metric. And it's really important because it has a lot of relevance to health and wellness and resilience.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's highly correlated with recovery if there's ever heart disease.
Oh wow. Because you want a greater variability. Yeah.
You got it. You nailed it. All right. How did you know that? Honestly.
Just a feeling. Makes sense.
Wow. Okay. So there's one more patch I need to put on you here. This is just to ground the system, and then we'll look at your brainwaves. Your beautiful brainwaves. So I'm going to ground it right here. Sorry, I started in on your skin
you're
before I
good.
said anything.
You're so good.
I was like, let me get in there.
No,
I didn't mean to do that.
Oh,
I usually like to say, I'm going to touch you.
All good.
Thanks. bridge between the conscious mind and the unconscious or the subconscious mind. It's called the alpha bridge, right? And that allows you to get what's down there, up and through and out here. The second hour, we have better data. And I could see coming through these evolved minds, these beautiful universal mind patterns with lots of amplitude. And the delta, I've never seen delta like this before. Like you're reaching into the field so deeply to get whatever you do. And to, I mean, I don't know. You tell me. But I can see that part of your process is really reaching out into Delta and into the field, we call it, where everything is connected. And it appears to be the source of your art. So I really appreciate being able to see that here, right now, in your brainwaves. It's just really validating. So what is your process? What are you doing? What is your process? What are you going through when you're making this sort of art? When this comes through you? How is it done?
Yeah, so it's I'll say one. The clearest way to describe that in English would be a space of deeply dropping into myself, but as you said, in the delta, right? Because delta is the connection, the place where we're connected to all that is. Or how did you describe that? Yes.
Like you described it?
Yeah. So it's going deep into myself, but I recognize, and it's not a mental thing, it's a knowing thing, it's a felt thing, it's a sensory thing, that I am all that is, and everything is me, right? So from that place I go in, and it's like a very tangible feeling of like I'm grabbing energies and pieces, almost like I'm going to this like cosmic kitchen, or this unity kitchen, and I'm grabbing like the spices and the foods and the drinks that are needed to bring into this world. And so when I'm making the art, it's like each stroke, each color, each pattern is like me grabbing that piece from this unity kitchen that wants to come into the creation that is the earth, right? And so this piece here today was me grabbing the pieces from this unity kitchen that want to come into our socio-political climate and space, and the energies and the fabrications that we can create. And a big piece was all about the perceptions and the way that we view problems, and the importance of what our story and what our narrative is around the problems that we see, those problems, those challenges, those opportunities. So how we frame anything, especially here in today, looking at the socio-political landscape, is the trajectory in which we will create solutions from. And so that's what today's piece was really about. And each time I create art, it's like going into that unity kitchen, and sometimes if it's for a specific individual here on the planet, it's like sometimes I have to go to the produce section, and that individual is going to need a lot of fresh produce or herbs or spices or particular energies that will then come through into their piece of art. But really it's like anchoring the energies for that individual into a piece of art. If I'm channeling a soul painting or a soul experience, it's like bringing that specific energy through. And today it was very much this energy of harmony and perception, and sometimes it was a visual journey, where today I was like moving through this unity kitchen, but I was also swimming through the ocean with a whale, and the whale was telling me what colors to use and what energies to weave through. And then I saw all these other beings that are working with us on the planet, and I could see them and I could feel them here, and I could feel that energy and their energy then coming into the painting. So what I love about bringing it into the artwork is then it's all about the energy encapsulated into a physical, tangible piece. So it's like the energy comes through and is like brought down to this creation that is the earth, and then it's encapsulated into this piece of artwork, that then this piece of artwork can go and essentially kind of amplify that energy out wherever it goes. So whether it's someone's space or workspace or personal home, it's like the energy is then amplifying from that space, almost if it's like a radio that's constantly playing that particular frequency. And so then the art embodies that, and however it wants to go out, it's like that frequency wanting to then continue to ripple out and land even further into the planet, into whomever sees it, connects with it, and receives it. Yeah. Does that answer your question? In a linear enough way.
Yeah, I get it. I feel you. What did it feel like to do it? What does it feel like when you're in this process?
It's very visceral. To be in this process is very visceral. I feel it in my body. Like, I feel like the way the frequencies and the colors hit the canvas. Like, I can feel in my body the alignment and the patterns, and like when it's correct or when something else needs to come in. So it's like it's almost like dancing, or maybe how an animal, a very primal animal, like a tiger would feel like running through the jungle, but if that tiger was like creating something, but like the sensations in my body, it feels very primal, but in a sense of primal being connected to creation and to all that is. So I really feel it like strongly in my body. Sometimes I'll feel different temperatures, like sometimes I might get really hot, or I might feel like a different temperature come in, or I might feel really peaceful, or I might feel like a pulsing, like a song. It's almost like I can feel the song of the frequency moving through my body, and the song of the frequency is simultaneously animating my body to move in a particular way. It's animating my hands to make particular patterns. And so it's like really like dancing with the frequency and the song of the creation, if that makes sense.
And you're speaking of these high frequency sort of experiences, your brainwaves are reflecting concordance I'm seeing harmony and coherence in your brainwaves. You're amazing. Every time I think of you, I think, I'm not going to say it out loud. She's a freak.
She's a freak.
I said
Yeah.
it. She is. It slipped out.